constantly stretched in my capacity. I was Okay, let me do that again. When I was first asked to step up to leadership in CSS, I was very hesitant. I carried the wounds from my leadership in parish, and the fear of leading alone, the dryness of burnout after burnout, and to unintentionally cause someone to be turned away from Christ under my leadership. I found many ways to stall for time so that I didn't have to make a decision. But God desired to heal these scars more than I did. I was getting comfortable with the scars, but clearly God wasn't. Choosing to say yes was rather scary for me, actually. I really like certainty and forward planning, but God decided not to reveal to me the roadmap of this journey. I prayed really hard to ask God for it, but all I could be certain of was, number one, that God was with me, and number two, that He wants to restore my idea of leadership. I was actually quite afraid that my scars would resurface, but He's a very persuasive guy. And by this time, I just couldn't delay my response to Him anymore. After talking to my CGLs, I decided to take the jump. I didn't know what I was jumping into, but I only knew that I was jumping into His hands. Throughout my leadership term, I was constantly stretched. I was particularly stretched in my capacity to love and in my time management. I would say to myself, there are just too many things to do and so little time to do them. Jesus help me to bilocate. I think there were several times where I felt really, really overwhelmed by all of this. It was like Jesus asking me to step out of the boat like Peter. And after I did, I started to sink. I would have loved to say that Jesus caught me and carried me to safety, but He didn't exactly do that this time. Instead, He taught me how to swim amidst all my commitments. He taught me to choose to love in spite of the stress and to abide in Him amidst everything that was happening. He is my anchor, and I really, really couldn't have done it without Him. As I had my swimming lesson with Jesus, I was constantly supported by community, and there were people who were always there to encourage me to speak truths and to share the load. This spoke against my fear of leading alone, and as Jesus taught me to abide in Him amidst everything, I learned to rest in Him, and these protected me from burnouts. As Jesus assured me that I was loved even though I was not perfect, it made me free to love, not as someone else but as myself. And this spoke against the fear that my imperfections would make me unqualified. In all of these, looking back, I realized that there's a common thread running across all of it, which is the question, can I really trust Jesus with my wounds? That He can bring life to others through them? And the answer is a humongous yes. He still doesn't want to give me the roadmap of my life, which is, yep. But I think now I can walk each step forward with a firm certainty that He is with me. Perhaps this was really all I needed, to trust that He is here with me. The journey was not always pleasant, but it was always in His hands. So to me, leadership is not about the hierarchy or being the person in front talking most of the time. But to me, Christian leadership is really about allowing God to love His people more through me, through my gifts and my wounds. So, do you feel God knocking on the door of your heart? Do you feel a stirring to love others more? So if today you hear His voice, harden not your hearts.